Good morning, Kincaid Coyotes. This is Wendy Zarea. I'm the principal at Kincaid Elementary School. And I am outside this morning just enjoying our beautiful garden. For those of you that are new to Kincaid, I'd like to share with you one of our pride and joys. We have an orchard with apples and cherries. We've got flowers and vegetables and fruits. So it's just a beautiful garden. I want to thank our volunteers that took good care of it over the summer, and it's a place that we can enjoy and do some work outdoors in the fresh air. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you today because there's a couple things I'd like to share with you. Takes just a second for me to load. All right. So I want to welcome you to our Kincaid Open House. It's the beginning of the year, and I got to tell you, we are really excited to get our year going and to meet our students. Typically in the past, we'd be out on the playground, enjoying the sunshine, looking at lists that are posted on the wall, and having popsicles with our friends. As you know, this year is different. We're starting our year in high risk. That doesn't mean school's not going to happen. We're super excited that it is happening. It's just going to be happening in a different format. I am Wendy Zarea. I'm the principal at Kincaid Elementary School. Please reach out to me anytime. You can call 245-5530 or send me an email at zarea_wendy at asdk12.org. Before I start, I do want to read out loud our mission to our community from our Kincaid staff. Kincaid Elementary School is a neighborhood school that provides a safe, structured, positive learning environment to meet the unique needs of our students. We believe in a strong academic program that is centered on the child and their specific developmental needs. It is our mission to provide a solid educational program while at the same time nurturing our students to become kind humans in a larger community. We will facilitate a learning environment in school and online to support all students to become kind, respectful, and responsible citizens. And it's our pleasure to do this. I'd like to start today by introducing our school staff. Here you see Miss Kelly and Miss Michaela in our front office. They've been working really hard to get all of our students enrolled in a classroom. I'm super excited to introduce our new nurse. This is Nurse Rachel. Nurse Rachel will be here to take care of all your health needs online and when you return to school. This is Mr. Julius. He's our building plant operator. That means he takes really good care of this building behind me. He helps us move our furniture and he makes sure things are clean and sanitized for our students. He takes care of all that snow removal come winter time. He works so hard to make sure that our environment and our space is appropriate and ready for kids. Our kindergarten team this year is familiar to us here at Kincaid, Miss Levis and Miss McConnell. And their supports are TAs. We've got Miss Tina supporting Miss Levis's class. Miss Cindy will be supporting in Miss McConnell's class. And Miss Courtney is going to be assigned to help our first grade teachers. Speaking of our first grade team, we've got Mrs. Campbell, Mrs. Slama, and Miss Johannes returning to our first grade team this year. Our second grade team, Mrs. Story, Mrs. Sylvester, and Mrs. Allward. To support in special education, Mr. Funk is returning to support kindergarten, first and second grade, and his TA, Miss Maria. Third grade, two familiar faces, Mr. Fisk and Mr. Getz, but we're very, very excited to announce Miss Baskey joining the third grade team. She's very familiar to us here at Kincaid. She has subbed in almost every classroom, and last year she did her internship here, and boy, is she off to a great start. Working hard to get ready for our Canvas classes. Now look at this fourth grade team. I will say all of these teachers are familiar to Kincaid. Mrs. Elliott, Mrs. Farrow, and Mrs. Lesko. And Miss Elliott has made a change from kindergarten to fourth grade, and I can tell you, she was so excited to look at that class list. She saw some familiar faces on that, or some familiar names listed on her list to start in the fourth grade. She's going to be excited to welcome new students, as well as see some of those kindergartners who have grown up to become fourth graders. Our third and fourth resource teacher is Mrs. Starnes, and to help Mrs. Starnes this year, we have Miss Betty and Miss Susan. Our fifth grade teachers, Miss Hop and Miss Arnold, are returning to fifth grade, and Miss Randazzo is joining the ranks of our fifth grade team. Super excited to teach fifth grade this year. And you see Miss Zosky. Miss Zosky is also supporting the fifth grade cohort. She is our Ignite teacher, but while we're in the high risk and medium risk, she will be working very directly with our fifth grade team. Mr. Popek, Mrs. Curry, and Mr. Ketch are returning to our sixth grade. In life skills, we have Miss Trina and her TAs, Miss Caroline, Miss Jordan, and Mr. Jerson. We also have a new teacher we'd like to welcome, Miss Jenny, and her TAs are Miss Pam, Miss Jenna, and Miss Rebecca. Super excited to welcome Miss Jenny to our life skills program. A familiar face is Miss Sarah. She's returning to life skills, and her teaching assistants are Mr. Jake, Miss Sherry, and Miss Robin. Miss Duggins is our cross-categorical teacher this year, and in her classroom will be Miss Kathy and Miss Angie. Mr. Aiken and Miss Real are famous PE teachers. They love PE so much, and they love the outdoors, and they love movement. Mr. Aiken, during the cohort, will be working with our sixth grade teachers in that team, and Miss Real will continue to work with our intensive needs students. In fifth and sixth grade resource, Mrs. Smith will be the teacher for our special ed resource classrooms, and her teaching assistant is Miss Beblanca. Art, health, and music, Mrs. Hollenix. Her cohort is fourth grade, so she'll be working closely with the fourth grade teachers. Mrs. Me is brand new to us. She's our health teacher, and she's really excited to get a chance to teach health, but in the meanwhile, she'll be working with the second grade students and those teachers to support our kids. And Mrs. Laying is going to be working with our third grade cohort this year to start off the year. And our special services, Indian Ed, Mrs. Shangan is returning, and Mrs. Bronzik is returning as our ELL tutor, but we have a brand new tutor. Mrs. Adias, she is our migrant ed tutor, so she's going to be offering supports this year in migrant education and tutoring and connections between home and school. And of course, Mrs. Wilson is our instructional coach who is here for kids and teachers. Speech services, Mrs. Maria, Miss Kyle, and Miss JC are returning. All right, so that's our staff, and now I want to talk just briefly about our school start plan. First of all, it's super important that every kid, every student has connectivity to a computer. So please contact our office if you need a one-on-one device for every kid in your home. Call us, email us at Kincaid Attendance, and we will fill out the form to make sure that every child gets a computer. If you need internet access, there is an application for that, and contact our office if you need internet as well. Here's the big question that all parents have been asking: when will my kid have to be on Zoom? Well, our teachers are working a regular school day, and in the next few weeks, there are going to be more opportunities for small group instruction. But to start our year, every grade level has a morning session and an afternoon session. All of us take a break between 12 and 1. We like to get some fresh air, eat lunch, get away from that computer. We need some downtime from working on our computers. But as we get started, you can expect every classroom to have a morning session and an afternoon session. In a couple of weeks, those morning sessions will be the English language arts direct instruction lessons, and the PM will be the math lessons. But as we start our year, I'll go over that schedule as well. On August 19th, I know that's what you guys are really waiting to hear. Who's my teacher? Who's my teacher? Well, your teacher is going to send your parents an email and they're going to welcome you to their class and they're going to invite you to those Zoom meetings, if I go back, that are scheduled in the morning and the PM, before lunch and after lunch. On August 20th, there will be 2 welcome Zoom sessions offered from your classroom teacher, just to get to know one another and to kind of navigate where we're going to be finding things this year. So that's going to be August 20th. The 21st through the 24th, your teacher will continue to build those relationships, making those daily appointments with you in the morning and afternoon, setting up procedures. School in the classroom looks different, but if you remember, usually you come inside and your teacher teaches you the routines for how we turn in work and how we find our lessons and what we do first and what we do second. Well, this year they're going to be showing you how to do those things, except your classroom is going to be in a thing called Canvas. Starting August 25th through September 4th, we do have a diagnostic assessment that your teachers will be providing for students, that we have access to a new program called iReady. So MathWiz and Lexia are no longer being used in our district, and the new program iReady requires a diagnostic so that we can get every kid in just the right place. By September 8th, weekly routines will be set. Kids will be very familiar with how to get in and out of the classroom and where to find things. Teachers will begin to offer smaller group instruction in addition to the 2 set English language arts lesson in the morning and the math lesson that's offered in the afternoon. This will also be a time in the small groups if students for students to meet with their resource teacher, the Indian Ed tutor, ELL tutor, and our migrant ed tutor. Kindergarten, you're going to have meetings starting, family meetings starting the 20th through the 24th. Those will be individual meetings. And the first day for instruction begins on August 25th. So I'm outside and I'm enjoying the fresh air, but I'm hearing like an airplane fly over, and I love hearing the birds, and I think I heard a squirrel a little while ago. But now I hear some construction, and I hope that that's not getting in the way of you hearing me. All right, so that's the end of our open house. I know it's not popsicles, but guess what? We are still excited to welcome you to Kincaid Elementary School. Please reach out to us, and I know you're going to be super excited when you hear from your teacher on the 19th. Have a great day, and thank you for joining.